225.
What is Monica's?
Pepe the Frog with big eyes.
Is this some meme that I'm not up to speed
This
on?
is a Twitch emote. That's all you need to know.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
let's talk about the game because that was our criticism. Glass colony.
Right, so Mars, glass.
Clips with a crater. GameSlayer. Apparently, you had shitty maps before. So, this is
There's a decent, there's a decent expansive found in the middle right of the map. I think it's a little bit far away from water, but you could make it work.
I mean, it's expansive. Their shipping's decent. They get a bonus to
Oh,
speed.
there is a
There's water.
sick. There we go. The scavenger.
Yeah.
I knew Pbhead was gonna. Someone was gonna take that scavenger. He took it for 36k debt. I think that is worth to take that spot for that much.
I think it's
well,
worth
maybe
it.
a bit expensive. Maybe a bit expensive.
Well,
but
a little bit. I would have gone 24, but this is also the person who was always the last to found in the last two tournaments because I was always.
well, and we're playing with pro players too, right? So you have to
they
take
value
that
it differently.
Yeah, and that expansive found was my
GameSlayer
other.
is going for the more obvious expansive found, in my opinion. This map is very generous on water. That goes without saying. So, it is. Well,
The one problem with Pbhead's found, okay, there's two problems with it. First off, he's kind of isolated from water, and second off, he is very, very constricted in his found. By founding inside of the crater instead of outside, yeah, he's going to be... Oh, there's no EMPs, though, this map. It's only power surge.
surges. I was about to mention that. But that still doesn't really fix the problem, though, because he is going to be limited by the time he gets to HQ 4 or 5. But I guess that'll be irrelevant by then. We'll see.
So we got
if
GameSlayer.
GameSlayer win the
skipping-
glass. That's understandable, actually. Yeah. Glass started pretty high.
But he skipped his steel. Like,
no, it's
yeah, there we
fine.
go.
He can go into steel.
He had the money. Yeah, next HQ, he'll go for
Okay, he's
steel.
doing what I expected. He's going to go into steel now. And Silicon went up a lot because he was basically running glass without Silicon. Pbhead's looking into going into Silicon to make money off of that quickly. GameSlayer is going for a faraway high Silicon. Now, on paper, that's fine because that high Silicon can feed both adequately. The problem is it's the delay. You know what I mean, JFux? He had to ship...
Yeah.
He had to... It's going to take a while. Okay, he canceled it. He realized it's too slow. So
yeah, he did.
The problem with that high silicon is it would be enough silicon. The problem is it would be too slow. It would slow him down too much against a scavenger.
Ooh.
Okay,
found a high silicon. Bam.
I like this play a lot. JFox can give what he... I like this play a lot because you're facing a scavenger. You don't want to slow yourself down against a scavenger. That includes going for a very far away silicon. That would have slowed him down too much. He needed the silicon now, so he did the clever play. I think that was a 200 IQ play right there. You don't want to slow down against a scavenger. What do you think, J-Fox?
Yeah, I think that was a good idea. This mutiny from Pbhead is another really, really good mutiny.
But
GameSlayer
was ready for that.
Yeah, with the mutiny in return.
But the problem with that is Scavenger wins the black market war. GameSlayer is 40 seconds on cooldown. Pbhead's going to be ready to do another mutiny very soon, so GameSlayer can only, he can only stop it for so long until he just loses because black market becomes too expensive too quickly. It's going to escalate too quickly if they keep it up.
Pbhead is going into glass kilns of his own to compete, which is a decent enough idea, but Pbhead isn't in a surplus of silicon. Pbhead only has the one silicon.
I should have got stockpiles. Oops.
An auction for the geothermal vent going for 36k.
I don't think that'll be a problem. Pbhead should... Thing is, GameSlayer is not really... He's probably going to use the glass mainly to upgrade and then sell some glass for quick cash for black markets just to make sure he isn't completely shut down. And I do like that he separated his... It's just a minor thing, but he separated his glass from steel in a power surge game, so that's also very nice.
Yeah, that is a good play to separate those two.
If it was me, not saying it was the right thing to do, If it was me, I would have gone the less greedy triangles and went into lines instead, and just put a good spot in the middle. But this is GameSlayer we're talking about. He probably knows how to get away with this because I don't.
So GameSlayer going for a mutiny, apparently, on Elemental Quarry, which isn't bad, because if you think about it, now there's adjacency that he's getting, an adjacency bonus on both those quarries, and there was a shortage on carbon not too long ago.
I think both
So-
players might be eyeballing their silicon because both of them are running at a significant at a deficit or neutral, so they're not breaking even. So I think silicon might be up for grabs. The problem is there's no dynamites or anything like that. It's just mutinies, and there's better mutiny targets.
Well, and also with people shipping like crazy and going into glass so early, we've seen electrolysis rise up in price really quickly.
oh,
So
yeah.
we're now at 120 oxygen, 150 fuel, and
Pbhead is doing
Pbhead.
something. He's doing something he did not do last game. He's actually stockpiling water and not auto selling it, which means if he wanted to go into farms, he can do that. And he's going into farms. I'm a oracle.
An expansive HQ
Is he
So-
going into farms as well as the electrolysis?
Yes.
Yeah, farms on.
He's technically going to be at a water deficit, but that doesn't really matter because he's going to have about 100 food stockpiled. Okay, more like 50 now because he sold water and made it $4, which kind of helped
So
GameSlayers
GameSlayer-
actually.
GameSlayer's going for 2 windmills and a triangle of farms. Just
Yeah.
a good idea.
GameSlayer went into a triangle of farms farms was good in general, but a triangle just because Pbhead did it again. He downsold water when GameSlayer only had 1 high. So GameSlayer is okay with this. He's running out of water deficit after these complete, or he's going to be neutral at least. No, he's going to be at a deficit of 0.6. No, I'm doing my math wrong. He's only making 1.4 currently. With 3 farms, he'll be at negative 1.6, right? He normally wouldn't be able to get away with this, but water's so cheap.
Yeah, both players need to be buying up water when it's that low.
You just want. There's nothing wrong with that. Just buy up water and just mass farms and reactors, and then you can just buy up glass.
Ooh,
Okay,
we got a hacker array.
GameSlayer. Okay. Look at that.
The black market
This-
is online.
I like this. Okay, I like that Storm too. He just nuked the water. GameSlayer obviously knows that the Scavenger is running out of water
The
deficit.
hacker array is finished.
Of course, the
Time
problem
to
is
change
he
our
has shut down the
passwords.
reactors, so he's still gaining water because he just shut down the reactors. But I get the idea.
And it looks like Pbhead is going into an oxygen hack, which is decent.
Yep.
As soon as those reactors come online, that'll be making him a fair bit of money. Although GameSlayer is now rotating out of his glass and into 3 electrolysis reactors.
See,
But the issue is GameSlayer is going to be at a significant water deficit as soon as those buildings come online. He'll be consuming 6 water and only has an income of 2
he doesn't have to worry about
On top of-
deficit if he's not eating it. With that,
on top of his base consumption. Well,
he just got
yeah,
his
it's
reactors
going to
got
send the
hit.
price of water. Oh, the reactors got hit too.
So
Oh.
Pbhead's gonna. This is gonna be a good
Oh, are
hack. I like this.
we seeing a match buy attempt here? This, I don't know about this. This is a little.
I don't know. If he's gonna pull it off, Pbhead needs to put more money into oxygen before the shortage. But he doesn't
Yeah,
have
if
the
he's
cash.
hacking-
He doesn't have the cash. Sorry.
Because it's all in GameSlayer stock. Like if you
Yeah.
if you're going to be doing that hack play, you want to have as much cash in that resource as possible.
Okay.
But we'll see where it goes.
I think PB has been listening to us just be very critical of him even when he won because he bought a 3rd share of himself before he bought into GameSlayer. So he's obviously been listening to us or stream sniping us. We don't know. Okay,
He's
so GameSlayer is
He's
going
in a
to
position. He could do this match buy. Like he could pull it off. It's just going to be very, very risky. Very tight. He's waiting for this chemical hack to go through, okay? Because he has 271 chemicals in storage in his
If GameSlayer upgrades, he will lose 10k, which means he won't have enough to buy 2 shares. At the moment, he has
should.
enough. So
GameSlayer's not going to upgrade. I
the
doubt it. He knows that he's at risk of a match buy.
exactly. I'm just saying, just for the viewers, I think this is a turning point. I'm going to pay attention if GameSlayer upgrades or not. He's probably not going to because he's experienced. But upgrading would be a mistake. He needs to buy shares instead of upgrading, which is what he's doing. So GameSlayer will probably not be bought out. His money is stuck in steel. Mostly steel. Okay. He should...
He could go for the upgrade now.
He could.
He
He's
could.
safer now. But he wants to be sure. I mean, he's facing a scavenger with a hacker
Yeah,
array.
there we go.
The black
Just bought the last
market
tip
Okay,
of his
what's
share.
this?
Should...
GameSlayer is hacking
Upgrade.
electronics, but he has not bought electronics yet. I'm trying to figure out what the purpose of hacking electronics if you're not going to profit off of it. Is it just to make advanced buildings more expensive for the scavenger? But I don't know. I'm overthinking this. Like, he still hasn't bought...
HQ has been upgraded.
He's probably just going to go into electronics factories. Is that it? I'm just trying to think why he would hack electronics.
I don't know what his play is there because the shortage is coming out soon and nobody's bought any electronics yet. And the thing is, playing against a scavenger too, scavengers know
They know the
about
hacks.
shortages. Yeah, they can see it ahead of time. Yeah, it just looks like that was a random... Okay. GameSlayer bought into it for about a second and then sold out.
I think GameSlayer either forgot or he thought he could beat a scavenger in a hacking game, which you can't. I know I said hacking arrays I like a lot in 1v1s.
Oh, and
It's
while
just
we
GameSlayer
were...
is just... He's against hacking. Okay, sorry.
water shot up to 200 a unit on
Holy
Mars,
crap.
which is crazy.
The engineers
And it looks like
advanced
GameSlayer right
production.
now is going to be making all of the water money because
You know why?
he has a
Slant
triangle of
drilling.
hide. Yep,
Slant drilling,
triangle of hide.
slant drilling was
Dude, that-
GameSlayer's very
those
first
tiles-
patent, and he had a plan.
Those tiles are making $600 a second, and there's 3 of them. That's $1,800 a second right
What is he
there.
going to do with
Like,
all this water cache is my question. There's no way he's going to hack.
He has to pay off his debt. If GameSlayer gets out of debt on this water play right now, he can
use
push
black
himself
markets.
into late game.
Begin.
He wants the black market. When a scavenger can't use black markets, it's kind of like playing with one leg.
Ooh,
Kinda
so
like running.
Congratulations.
So it looks like Pbhead's been kind of locked out of the water market by the looks of it, because he's at a deficit right now. And
he
he's
can't get
surplusing.
slant drilling.
So yeah, if I were if I were GameSlayer, I wouldn't even be selling down water because Pbhead's at a
Market misinformation in progress.
Pbhead isn't making any, you know?
But that's his best cash cow.
Yeah, that's true. It is.
He's
biggest
kind of
moneymaker,
like,
right?
you're right. It's just GameSlayer is kind of forced to sell water because it's the only thing making money technically. Yes, he's making money off of reactors and farms, but those also require water, and it's just better. And glass is kind of dumpstered. It's just bad. So he's kind of
Well-
not to mention
Now, because of those electronic hacks, going into electronic factories would be pretty decent.
to be fair, GameSlayer is selling down water, and Red is doing the smart play. He's been surplusing water for a while now. To counter
Okay,
this,
there we go.
GameSlayer needs to hack water, but he's also he's not hacking
So
water up though.
Eh,
I could be wrong. If I was GameSlayer, I would just hack water, because Red's just surplusing water, and it's actually helping him a lot. Because
nah, even with that, GameSlayer has to be GameSlayer just froze out Pbhead's water, right? So Pbhead
That's
has no
true.
water production right now. Pbhead's consuming tons. It's almost 6 water a second. So GameSlayer needs to buy water up to like $600, you know, and really just shut off all of Pbhead's production.
And the good news is, even if water becomes cheap, that still benefits GameSlayer, because he has 3 farms and 3 reactors. So it's like, oh, you made water cheap? That's fine. I'm still making more life support than you are.
And it
because
makes
of
PB Hex life
optimization.
support.
Off-world market is a
Of course, I'm surprised
So
GameSlayer hasn't gone on
Fortune
optimizations
awaits.
yet. In fact, I should look him up.
Optimization routines successful.
PB Head is
So-
going for an off-world. Oh, PB Head already has his off-world assembled. Jeez.
Yeah, they're moving quite quick, and we're kind of like 2 souls behind.
So the mediocre off-world 22K launch. It's okay,
Okay.
but it didn't cost him that much money. I don't think because Carbon's
Pbhead
only.
is trying to beat. Well, he already beat his water deficit because he also optimized water twice. So now GameSlayer can't punish the water anymore. I mean, that's fine.
So GameSlayer's now rotated out of his steel and into 5 electronics reactors, which is going to
Jesus.
absolutely decimate the price
Those filthy bandits.
of electronics.
Okay, pirating water. I mean, pirates were cheap, to be fair. No, wait, no, that was an auction, pirates. I don't know how much that was paid for.
The engineers have advanced our production.
What did that go for? 9K to GameSlayer, so not bad.
It's
Again,
somewhat
they're both in
value.
such deep debt. GameSlayer's in D debt. PB Head's in D+4 debt.
Off-world shipment launched.
I mean, GameSlayer,
All the money.
while he's losing the stock
The
market,
dirty rat trying to break
he
our
could
stuff.
win just because he can use black markets, while the scavenger can't. I just repeat that. Scavenger cannot use black markets.
Market
If you don't know,
misinformation in
Scavenger
progress.
has reduced cooldowns for black
Our
markets.
methods
That's like
continue to improve.
he lost the race in like a 100-meter run. Like
PB Head is
You do
launching
not-
glass.
you do not want to expand. You don't want an expansionist to dictate the pace of the game with black markets. Of course,
Well,
GameSlayer
PB Head's in
just
just such deep debt right now. I think he's debt spiraling at 400. He has $416,000.
I think this is GameSlayer's game to take with no optimizations whatsoever.
He doesn't need any. With that level of debt, you can't win. Even with all of your shares owned, even with an off-world.
GameSlayer knows this too.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time. He has a pleasure dome up too, which is making him $351. Almost $200 net once you take into the power price into account.
Yeah, GameSlayer's
But
just
still,
going
that's
hardcore.
yeah.
Like he's playing expansionist without any optimizations.
Market
That's like
misinformation in
hardcore.
progress.
I mean, he doesn't need it, but dang.
I think GameSlayer is just waiting for the shift buy. Oh no, there he goes buying into his stock now.
All right.
I think what PB Head should have done
Optimization routine successful.
is sell out and go pay off his debt, because his debt is what killed him this game. Having, D+6 debt, it lowers your stock price so much that you just can't.
It's tempting to ignore your debt as a scavenger because paying off your debt with cash slows you down significantly. And he was with an expansion player. He was keeping pace with him upgrade-wise, right? So I can see why Pbhead didn't want to pay his debt off, right? Like, it's understandable.
Yeah, it was tight though, because he had a chance to make the majority buy, but then couldn't pull it off at the end,
engineers have
right?
advanced
Well, that's
our
because
production.
GameSlayer saw it coming and he refused to upgrade. He
Yeah.
if it was a newer player, or if it was a weaker player, they would have upgraded to 5, and then they would have got bought out. But GameSlayer just shows once again, yeah, great game by GameSlayer. To be fair, GameSlayer he really likes 1v1s. At least we talked about it. Should look at the charts and graphs. So, water was probably GameSlayer's one of his biggest cash cows for a while. But
So yeah, GameSlayer made $273,000 on water. Well, you know what?
Jesus.
PB Head made 204K on water. So the water play was pretty divided, although PB Head did sink 221K into water. So yeah, it looks like GameSlayer came out on top in the water play.
Yeah.
No, that's minor though. It's kind of marginal.
I just have to admit though, I didn't really see where Pbhead was putting his water cash. Like we saw what GameSlayer did with the money he made with his water cash.
Yeah.
I didn't really pay attention to Pbhead during that part of the game because GameSlayer had 3 pumps in slant drilling earlier, which just propelled him really fast.
It looks like GameSlayer did get the better of the electronics hacks by the looks of it.
It's just GameSlayer just played it better straight up. Like, what I mean is Pbhead, he didn't, like, it was just a crucial time when he just made water cheap for a while, which allowed GameSlayer to survive on 1 pump for too long with 2 triangles. And then GameSlayer used that to eventually get slant drilling 3 water pumps, and then he shut him out of water. And PBO was at a deficit too. Like, there's a lot of things that went right, but...
Alrighty, so are we going to host?
Yeah,
I'll set it up.
This is Pbhead's. I don't know about GameSlayer, but this is Pbhead, so I'm going to assume he doesn't want to break. But we need to see what GameSlayer wants. We need to find out, because I think GameSlayer determines the next map.
Oh. Give me series, GameSlayer says.
He said series. Oh yeah, good job by GameSlayer. I really liked a lot of things. Probably the earliest, like, just the earliest play that set him apart from other players is the core sample play, right?
Yeah, that was a sick play.
Like,
I like that core sample.
A new player, I mean, I keep saying this.
No,
A new player on
I
paper
wouldn't
would
even
be
done
like, well, what made it so good if both would yield the same amount of silicon, right? Because they're both highs. It's just what made that play so good is that he was against a scavenger. If he went for the longer distance, he would have made fuel more expensive, and it would have taken much more time to get that silicon ready against a scavenger. It would have been too slow. So I'm just emphasizing why I like that play a lot. It was the fastest play he could make to get silicon against a scavenger who was threatening to beat him out.
Is this the last game we're going to be casting today? Or second last?
I think there was 4 rounds. I could be wrong. I don't know what map they want. Series. All right.
Yeah, it's all set up here. You just got to join.
Oh, you already had it ready?
Yeah, man, I trumped you.
All right, just making an observer. We can probably ask if they want to take a break, but...
Do you want to?
Well, it's up to the players.
Here, I'm just peeling an orange.
I'm going to assume Pbhead's going to say no. I don't blame him. I'll just ask before we start. Oh, and I should probably... You can start soon. Let me just get the replay ready.
Okay.
Okay, just give me... Okay, the replay's up now. We can go whenever you're ready.
Are we good to go?
The rules look correct. It's a small map. Yeah, I think we're ready. Yeah, I think everyone's ready. I think Pbhead did better that game, at least from my point of view, right? Would you agree, G Fox?
You did all right.
I think he did better that game than last series.
Sound was very constricted. Okay, so here we go. Series. We got a American colony, so a power colony consuming power. Double price power as well, so watch out for power this game. This game will be decided on a power play. I chose series precisely because what happened in the top left never happens. I think he's referring to double power on a power colony on series. Oh, and this is what do they call this? I think
gosh. I think this is a pretty shitty map, quite frankly.
So someone in stream can correct me if I'm wrong here. I think this is called a Zoltar map, if
I
I'm not
believe
mistaken.
so.
So we got
Okay.
Robot in the corner.
When it's a
One of the
shitty
only-
map,
Scavenger HQ has
I
been
think
found.
Robot's a pretty safe bet
Oh.
because there's a lot of reasons why, but one of them is if you look at the water started cheap, right? Oh, never mind. You can produce water by solar. Never mind. I'd be like, well, if water's hard to come by, Robots is good because you don't have to worry about water or fuel for shipping. It's just power, but solar condensers are a thing. But GameSlayer went for the 2 medium, 40 games. I can see why.
A scavenger HQ has
If you
been
look at this black
upgraded.
market, this is a really good scavenger black market. One of the main reasons I believe is bribe claims and adrenaline boost. Scavengers like that. What do you think?
Yep,
J-Fox?
those would be good. I was looking at his found, and what's really clever here is there's a medium elemental quarry and then a cave right beside it. So he's slanting off of that medium carbon, right? So he's
Yeah.
getting 2 carbons there, which balances it out.
The
He's going for
reason-
nuclear plants right now.
Early power. That's.
Oh,
I mean,
no,
that's kind
power
of
quality.
predictable. I mean, when you see a robot with 3 steel mills going, you're gonna see power
3
going up.
steel mills. Yeah.
Let's see what Pbhead is shipping. Silicon. So he's not shipping too much. It's just the steel mills.
The black market is online.
GameSlayer doesn't have the rest of his claims put down. I guess it's because he doesn't have the money.
He has no cash. Like, if you look at his claims, none of his claims are making cash. At least the robot can sell steel for cash if he's desperate, or silicon.
So he bought a defensive mutiny, which is not
Yep.
bad.
See, the reason why I like Scavenger with the black markets is that it's much easier for a Scavenger to get away with adrenaline boost because the reduced cooldowns make it so you can get adrenaline boost going sooner, and you can goon it pretty fast afterwards, if that makes any sense, right?
Well, he's making power money right now, and his black market cooldown is up, so I kind of expect a goon. Yep, there's the goon right down on the power.
Yep. GameSlayer is playing it very safe.
See,
If it was me,
Pbhead is-
If it was me, I would have
By-
attempted to shut down the robot, but it's understandable. There's nothing worth shutting down yet because it's just steel.
Well, he could have put him back on an upgrade. But it's like, steel's really cheap, electronics are really cheap, aluminum's pretty cheap. You're not going to slow him down too much. Doubling down on the power play is the best option, I think.
That's correct. I completely agree. And when you're a scavenger and when you're not ahead, I think he's ahead market-wise, and when you have a slight lead, you might as well just play it safe, right? Or at least preemptively buy a goon squad, so you can secure your next HQ momentum, like he just did. Like he just went for a mutiny solar panel.
That was a good mutiny on the solar panel.
my
It shuts
gosh.
down it shuts down the adjacency bonus to the robot,
The black market
and
is
it's
online.
gaining an extra power point.
More
Per second.
importantly, Pbhead is making no power whatsoever, so he's going to be building up even more debt. Well, I'm not saying Pbhead will go into D debt. It just means that he can't leverage auctions as much, and he's that much closer to D debt. If that makes any sense, right? Like,
Pirates.
on the next
I hate those
auction,
filthy bandits.
I expect GameSlayer to take it if it's a good auction, because he's in a much better position debt-wise, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's a robot with
GameSlayer's
80k.
GameSlayer made it up to HQ4 on this power play. He's now going into a patent lab, into a hacker array, which I assume he's going to hack power with.
Probably.
Because, Pbhead has no real good response to this power play. Solar panels on series.
Dirty rat.
Oh,
okay.
there we go. GameSlayer's preemptive
go
goon
right
squad.
Ooh, brutal.
Black
That's
market
back
is
on him.
open for business.
This is gonna hurt.
I think
So
as soon as that he's finished,
he's just gonna EMP the power.
The hacker
That's
array
what's
is
gonna happen,
finished.
right?
Time to change our passwords.
Yeah, it's coming down on the power. It has to. Here
Pbhead
comes the
knows
power
it
hack.
too. Oh god, that hurts.
Yeah, right there. 100 seconds on
GameSlayer
the solar
is
panel.
showing just how good he is in 1v1s. And this is a winner's match, by the wait. No, this is a.
This is the second match.
No, I was saying
believe.
both of these lost their last series, I think. No, Joyful.
Oh,
No, wait, Pbhead won, right? So this is between winners. I have to look. I don't know. The way they formatted the Excel spreadsheet's kind of
The
confusing.
black market
Okay,
is
so
online.
he's shorting electronics.
that's a good idea because that'll make
Upgrades more
Pbhead's
expensive.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was
So
thinking.
you're just basically punishing your opponent. You know.
Now,
Ooh, that's a good
Overloaded
adrenaline boost.
circuits create problems.
If it doesn't get punished, but let's see, can Pbhead punish it? 14 seconds.
I mean, he has a goon squad on one of the nuclear. Uh-oh. I can see GameSlayer actually paying quite a bit for this because he stands to lose more if he gets circuit overloaded, right? Yep. Look at that.
Yeah, but he still has a boosted nuke.
That's
He's
true.
still making power.
That's
A
true.
robotics HQ has been upgraded.
He needs to go for the majority buy right now. Right now, he can go for it.
That is constructed.
That was such an
Let's get our
awkward
science
auction.
on.
Like, most of his money was making power, so if GameSlayer denied the circuit overload, then he's not making power money anymore, right? But there was not really a good circuit overload target for GameSlayer to hit, right? So it's kind of like a catch-22. GameSlayer would have lost either way.
He could have thrown it down on the solar panels and steel mill.
But he would,
It would have been
but he would
all
lose
right.
his power money. If you look at his piles, what's making him the most cash? It was his power. I mean, now he's
Yeah,
in the
but
farms.
he was making close to 2K a second on power, right? So 2K a second would have paid through the debt.
Okay.
Yeah, with that EMP.
GameSlayer is
that
going
EM
for the
power
typical
play.
scavenger play. He's staying at HQ4 and just going to buy out the robot straight up. That's very typical.
Yeah. I think this is GG.
This is the right play, I think. There's no reason for GameSlayer to go into HQ5.
Well, these circuit overloads are coming offline in about 15 seconds, and as soon as they do,
He will be able to get... Sorry.
yeah, GameSlayer is going to be making hundreds, thousands maybe in power money.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and look at this patent. Do you see this, what he's getting?
The black market is online.
Thinking machines.
Oh, yeah, and look at his base. He would be covering
Nice.
4 of his buildings. 4 of his buildings would be protected. A 5th if he decided to build right here. That's value right there. Well, he's protecting 5. I was wrong.
boost again.
6. He would get 6 if he built right here because he's protecting his hacker array. So that's a
So he
value thing.
boosted out-
Machines.
He boosted out his power once again and is making 1.2K a second in power money.
Jesus, this is
And-
nasty.
Yeah.
I know.
Player
I
wins it
don't-
on the power.
I mean, I don't think Pbhead had played like. I don't think he played badly per se. It's just I think GameSlayer just played better, and he was a scavenger, so he was able to, keep the punishment coming. But do you have anything to say about Pbhead?
Pbhead made it work. He really, really did. He tried a valiant effort. I think ignoring power for too long on a power colony on series will just get you killed in a 1v1. Like that's what I mean. We've casted now. I think we've casted what 5, 6, 7 games, and half of those games have been won on power plays, right?
Pretty
like
much.
at least half of the game. And it's like in a 1v1 situation, if you ignore power, you will lose. Like there's almost never a chance. There's almost never an instance where you don't lose if you ignore power on a 1v1. In an FFA, it's totally different because the power money will be distributed among 3 opponents. But in a 1v1, every unit of power you consume is money your opponent can make, if you just straight up ignore it.
I think GameSlayer is pointing out that boosts are very OP in certain situations, and I think this was one of those games where boosts were so strong because
His boosts made him it made him almost 2k a second in power at most.
And he got away
And
with it partly because he was a scavenger. Like he
yeah, the cooldowns.
the cooldowns.
Yeah,
Like scavengers just. I mean, everyone loves boosts, but like scavengers have an easier time of getting away with it because of the cooldowns. Not
I
to
think
mention the
are you,
preemptive goon squad turned the game around. Like, remember when he preemptively goon squad his nuclear plant? Pbhead went right into it. He just EMP'd it. He got
that was
bounced, and then he just got screwed.
That was a turning point. Yeah. But the defensive mutiny that he bought right at the beginning, and then he launched it at the solar panel, right?
Oh, it's actually funny. GameSlayer said he meant to buy a goon squad for his black market instead of the mutiny, but he panicked. But I think mutiny was actually good, or rather, he made the most use of it. He kept the monopoly on power long enough. GameSlayer, never change.
Look at the go to the overview quick. I want to talk about the overview.
Yeah.
Overview. Like the
Pbhead was stuck in steel for too long. I mean, it's understandable. He's a robot, right? But for a long
just look
while,
at the
he was just stuck in
disparity
building
here.
materials.
GameSlayer made $168,000 in power.
Yeah.
And Pbhead consumed 72k, right? So it's clear. It's absolutely clear that you need to go power in 1v1 on a power colony, double price power series. You know, it's like just game ending otherwise.
GameSlayer also made 68k on electronics, which is decent, but he also consumed 61.
That was the hacks.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to play the game, replay it back in my head. It was just Pbhead was stuck in building materials for a while, wasn't he? He wasn't getting too much cash for the first 3 HQs, right?
No.
And because of that, he couldn't really buy that many black markets. And then you see GameSlayer with his, once he started making power money, look how many black markets he bought. He bought 8, doubled that of Pbhead. Pbhead also went, I mean, I understand. He bought 2 bribe claims. GameSlayer forgoed the bribe claims and decided just to go all out. 2 EMPs, 2 boosts, 1 mutiny, 2 goon squads. I think that was just one because of power and black market.
Bribe claims have a longer cooldown than other black market items, right? So bribe claims have a 90-second cooldown, whereas
I believe that's correct. I think that game was won because of power and black markets.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. GameStar just emphasizing that the preemptive goon squad on his nuclear plant early on just bounced 1 EMP, which just made the just shut down the robot so hard when he already mutinied the solar panel beforehand.